What's up, ladies and gentlemen? You are now tuned in to episode 29 of the In-Game Grind podcast, the greatest podcast on this clairvoyant plane of existence and the next. I am your host, Jason, and as always, I am joined by my friend, my homie, your friendly neighborhood Afro-Latino Spider-Man, Chris. Say what's up to the people.
What's up to the people? Representation matters. Miles Morales did not disappoint.
You know, I was just about to say, like, what have you been playing? But I think anyone that listens to our podcast even semi-regularly knows what the hell you've been playing for the last couple of days.
I've been playing since the 12th. I've been playing Miles Morales. I have beaten Miles Morales. I've not 100% it because I haven't started New Game Plus yet because it incentivizes you to New Game Plus it. Boy howdy, that game, man. The crazy thing is, from the beginning, it had foul 808s. I'm not shitting you. Like the title screen that shows like Miles like on the train and he's like on his phone, right, with his fresh cut. Yeah, and then it hits you with the almost like the Prowler theme from Into the Spider-Verse, where it was like that echo sound, and then it had like the bro. It was, and then like everything else, it just muy Italiani, man. I mean,
so
there was no part of that game I didn't like.
Now, I do want to preface this by saying you did play it on PlayStation 4.
I did because I didn't want to wait. Because I knew for a fact I was going to get it regardless. And the thing is, now I don't actually have to buy the Ultimate Edition because I can just play my PS4 game on my PS5 if and when I get it.
Now, if you do that, will it technically be the same? Like, will it play the PS5 version?
Yeah.
Will it upscale?
No, it won't. No, it will play. Yeah, it'll play the PS5 version and it'll upscale everything.
Okay, all right. Because
that is one of the great things about the backwards compatibility. It's upscaling everything. All them teraflops, man. I'm telling you. Like, I've been watching gameplay, people playing God of War in 4K 60 frames, like, and people actually own 4K TVs. Like, I'm excited because once I get a PS5, you know,
you'll finally put your 4K TV to use.
I'll put my 4K TV to use.
You've had that damn TV for like a year and a half, too.
Dude, I've had it for way longer. I've had it since my first apartment.
Damn.
Yeah, I've had it since my first apartment.
So I think the only game that I've seen that's not like a new game played in 4K 60 was Monster Hunter World, and it actually looked pretty. I mean, coming from somebody who only played it on PC, like the frame rate didn't look any different, but the one thing I did notice was that those load times were much different. Like, it did not take like 10 minutes to get into one goddamn hunt. But
I'm excited to play Kingdom Hearts 3 in 4K.
4K.
Like I don't know why. Like, the game already looks like crispy.
Yeah. I will say, like, that's one of the things that kind of like, because again, like, as a PC player primarily, neither one of the consoles really speak to me over one another. Well, that's a lie. The PlayStation speaks over a little bit more than Xbox because everything available on Xbox is on PC, and for PC there are some games I just can't get, or like some games that, you know I won't get. Like Demon Souls, even if it does come to PC, I know it won't be for a long time. Yeah. And Miles Morales, that might never come to PC. Who knows? But things like Final Fantasy 16, I'm playing that on PC. I'm sorry. Like, even if I get a PS5, I'm playing that on PC because I want my Final Fantasy games on my PC or my Switch. But before we get into our topic for today, please tell me. Let's talk about this news you dropped on me literally right before we hit record.
Okay, so I found this information out over the weekend. Apparently, Capcom had a security leak. I don't know if it was someone hacked in to Capcom or someone got some credentials that they weren't supposed to and it led them in somewhere, but from what was dropped, this is what it was. Perhaps the most interesting of the Capcom leaks are those that point to a PC release of both Monster Hunter Stories 2: Wings of Ruin and Monster Hunter Rise, as both of these games were announced as Nintendo Switch exclusives. The former will have a simultaneous release on PC and Switch June 2021, that being Monster Hunter Stories 2: Wings of Ruin, and it's expected to feature single player, online co-op, and even PvP modes, all which were in the original, like the prequel on the 3DS.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Rise.
No, while free post-launch updates will add new quests and optional cosmetic microtransactions, the latter should launch October 2021 for PC, while the Nintendo Switch version is coming out March 26, 2021. That version, they are now talking about Monster Hunter Rise. So it looks like we're going to have another world situation where the console's going to get it first, and then they're going to spend some time optimizing it for PC. And we'll probably get a PC drop October, which, funny enough, World, I think, dropped for PC players in August in comparison to the January release.
Yeah, it was a 6-month window. 6 months.
But yeah, these two titles are somehow linked in that they will be a variety of crossover bonuses for having both, according to Capcom. So it looks like if you're going to get both games for Switch, I'm really hoping that at some point Capcom drops Monster Hunter Stories 1 for the Switch if they haven't already. Because I think everyone should play that. It's a fun RPG Monster Hunter where you're getting to ride the monsters instead of like you have them as pets, or it's kind of like Pokemon essentially, because you do get to like capture capture monsters and hatch monsters from the eggs. Do cool like dungeon crawls where the end result is a monster egg. And there's cool monsters. It just has them from like all over the generations. And it's got its own like story, which when me and Jamie were playing it on the 3DS way back when, was a stellar story. We were not expecting like an A plus story coming from this 3DS title. And if you don't want to wait, you can get it on any tablet and your phone, because Monster Hunter Stories 1 is on, I know it's on Google Play Store because I have it on my phone, and I would say it should be on the App Store and for Apple, so you should be able to play it. At least get you caught up. It looks like it takes place right after the events of the first game, but until we get a little bit more information, I won't know entirely. But I think it's interesting that we're getting another Monster Hunter game for PC. I think it's great because allegedly, take it with a grain of salt. But I think it's great if we do, because that just shows that Capcom is seeing that this game is getting more of a worldwide appeal, which means we'll be getting more Monster Hunter games in the future and not just the second best.
To be fair, Monster Hunter was one of those. Monster Hunter used to be in that same bracket of like Capcom IPs that they felt like was so niche that it would never succeed on like on a mainstream scale. Like it wasn't like a Mega Man or a Marvel's Capcom or Resident Evil or Devil May Cry. It was down there with like Dino Crisis and Darkstalkers and that, and those type of genres. Yeah. But I think with Monster Hunter World, it showed them, oh damn, people in America actually do give a damn about Monster Hunter. And I mean, Monster Hunter World was one of the first Monster Hunter games to be readily available to play in America at the same time it was readily available to play in Japan. And it was, I believe, the first Monster Hunter game to come to PC besides the like Japanese and Chinese only MMO. So I mean, Monster Hunter World was well, that's not necessarily true. My introduction to Monster Hunter was like for you on the 3DS. Yeah. All 5 minutes of it that I played, and I was completely turned off because I had no idea what was going on. But I played World, loved World, still play World to this day. I have like 800 hours in World total.
You played a little bit of Generations too.
Yeah, I played a little bit of Generations. It was kind of hard to enjoy
It's
though.
hard to come from world and then go down to
Too many
generation.
like change, too many quality of life changes for the better.
Bro, what you mean I gotta stand still and drink my
Yeah,
potion?
that was a big turn off. I like what got me to get the game was all the different power systems and shit. I like that, but like all that
Yeah.
other shit, I couldn't even get far enough in the game to enjoy that. So that was just a wash for me. But I will say this though. Well, I'm gonna ask you this because we had this conversation when World came out. I asked you, bro, are you going to wait for the PC version? And you gave me an emphatic no.
I
Because
did. Because the reason being, this is news. This is great. But me and Jamie have already decided that we were gonna get it for the Switch, and I already have it pre-ordered for the Switch, so I'm not really gonna throw away my collector's edition. But if it has the exact same quality of polish as World did, it's gonna get another buy because I'll just get it for PC so I can play with you guys, and I'll just
Now-
keep the Switch one for me and Jamie.
here's my only question though. If you get it for PC, if it's true that this
Yeah.
game will come out for PC, you know I'm gonna get it for PC.
Yep.
You know Caleb's gonna get it for PC.
Yeah.
And you know Diamond's gonna get it for PC.
Yeah.
And you know if we get it for PC, we're not getting it for Switch.
Yeah.
Because that's too much of a turnaround.
Right.
Like Caleb had it on PS4, got it for PC,
Never went back.
caught up, and he was like, I can't go back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you going to play for 6 months on Switch, get it on the PC, and then actually go back and play the Switch version?
I guarantee you I will.
Every update, you're going to do it on Switch and PC.
I will.
That's cap. And I can't wait to come back to this clip and tell you that's
Hey,
cap.
that's fine. You'll see me. You'll see me on the friends list. Like, why is Chris online at like 3 a.m.? Why is? Oh my god, this motherfucker playing Monster Hunter Rise at 3 a.m.
Okay, so here's the real question.
Yeah.
Will they get, or are we gonna get crossplay?
I don't know.
Because that seems like a, because
I
you've
don't
already
think
pre-ordered it, right?
Right.
And
I
that
don't think the
seems kinda
Switch
dangerous.
can. I don't think the Switch can cross play with PC.
We've done it before.
You know what? You're right. We did. We did it
Played
with
Spellbreak.
Spellbreak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spellbreak is completely cross-platform. I think as well as Fortnite.
And the other one, what's the other diet Monster Hunter? Dauntless.
Dauntless. Yeah.
Dauntless is for
That is
crossover.
true. That is true. All three of those are through Epic though, so you know.
That's true. That's true.
All three of those are through Epic.
That's true.
Needless not to discredit though, I think it's very possible with the fact that Apex Legends is going to be cross-platform or cross-play. The Switch release just hasn't. I think it got pushed back. They're still trying to optimize things for the Switch, which I honestly think they should take as much time as they need because there are many games that I think that should be on the Switch. I'm not gonna lie to you, shooters should not be one of them. I think Splatoon is like the closest they should get to it, and it's nothing against like the Switch itself. I just don't think like okay, let's talk about it real quick. What's one important aspect of a shooter game that you need that you can't really get on the Switch?
Latency?
Nope. Well, yeah, that too, but that's not it.
What?
Communication.
I mean, yeah.
I
sure.
mean, like we'll keep it a stack. Xbox and PlayStation had their proprietary chat service, and it works for the games, you know, to an extent. But PC, you could talk through the game chat if you really want to just torture yourself, or you could be like everybody else and go through Discord. Granted, yeah, you probably could go through Discord with I mean, they have a chat service. It just doesn't work very well because you have to connect it through your phone.
Yeah.
And then you got to hope you have a solid connection because with your phone, you're going to be on Wi-Fi. You're not going to be hardwired in. Same with the Switch. No one's hardwiring their Switch right now. And that is just causing a whole swirl of latency, voice, you know, it's just not going to work. That's why I think it's not going to work too well. Is nothing against the Switch. I'm sure the hardware can handle it. I just don't think it has the suitable parts for it. Like I don't think so.
I'm interested to see if it will, because we've already talked about how the rumors of a Switch Pro are on the horizon. And if that's true, we don't know how big of a boost of performance the new Switch will have. But if you have to compete, and we've already said this before, Nintendo doesn't compete with Sony and Microsoft. They kind of just coexist. But if you have to coexist in a world where the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 exist, where people are now getting into 4K gaming, nobody plays Nintendo games for graphical fidelity. Let's just call it what it is. Like
no, they do for Super Mario Sunshine. They really do care about those Super Mario Sunshine graphics.
The thing is, bro, like no one, like I know I'm not playing a game in 4K on the Switch, and that's fine with me, because I played Fire Emblem Three Houses. It wasn't graphically stunning, but I mean the cutscenes were. But the game itself was amazing. I paid to play the game. The same with Astral Chain. You know, the same with any other game I've bought on the Switch. It was for the game.
Right.
Literally, we've said the only game I've ever gotten for the Switch that I regret getting for the Switch and wish I had gotten for the PC was Fairy Tail. But in all honesty, I regret getting Fairy Tail in general. So
and that's not even the game. Well, it is the game's fault. It's not the Switch's fault.
It's not the Switch's fault. It's the game's fault, because PC had its own other slew of issues. But I will ask this though. I hate Monster Hunter in the fact that we always have to deal with this, because the 6-month thing, right? Like, it's not only for release, it's also for content. Yeah. And it wasn't until World was almost damn near on its end of its updates, or the end of its content roadmap, that
thing synced up.
Exactly. And by the time that it did,
we were already done.
I think it synced up at Furious Rajang and Raging Brachydios, which was, if I remember, and that was like legit
two updates before the end. I think that was that Frostfang, and then Fatalis was right after.
Because I remember the last one where we had to wait a super long time compared to console was Safijiva.
Yeah.
And Safijiva came out, but after Safijiva, it was Furious Rajang, Brachydios, and then everything else was cool. And right now in Monster Hunter World, they are done putting monsters in that game. We got Fatalis, and then we got Arc-Tempered Valkana. There's no more monsters coming out in that game. And honestly, that's fine, because
Capcom came out and said that they're going to basically just keep the events on a 2-week cycle.
That's dumb.
So you can, well, no, they're going to keep the events on a 2-week cycle so you can play all the event quests, so they can just keep going essentially permanently.
I know.
So you don't have to wait out on them.
I know, that's dumb. They should just have all the events active.
Oh no, I agree. I think they should just permanently throw them up there, but
because the only things that people are gonna people are still trying to beat Fatalis. Like, it took me,
hell, I still haven't beat Fatalis.
I have fought Fatalis probably 40 times and only killed him twice.
Damn.
Now, that being said, I still have the full armor set fully upgraded and my weapon fully upgraded, but I got other weapons I gotta make, and I can't get the parts to make it unless I actually break the head twice and kill him. So, but this is the stuff I'm talking about though, right? Like, for the stuff that we have to grind out, would you really fight? Are you really gonna okay, let's say that Monster Hunter World on the Switch, you got it for the Switch first, right? Or no, we don't have to make up hypotheticals. The PS4 version. Let's say you and Jamie got Fatalis 6 months before us.
Yeah.
And you did all that grinding, all that, and you only had 2 kills under your belt, but you had all the armor. Are you really gonna turn around and do all that again on PC?
With you guys, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'd do that with you guys.
I don't know, man.
You gotta understand, my want to play games with my friends supersedes a lot of work. I've downloaded and played so many games just to play with friends that it doesn't really matter anymore. I
know, but I guess that's why I'm confused. Like, Monster Hunter is the only one where you've ever been like, nah, not gonna wait.
Yeah, because it's a weird ecosystem, because for a while, especially before World, I never thought we would get a Monster Hunter game for the PC. I mean, I knew it was only a matter of time, but it just didn't seem likely for some reason because Capcom didn't see it as a marketable thing. And when it did eventually came out, I was stoked and I was ready to go. But it was also still a Monster Hunter game. This is one of the games me and Jamie fell in love with as a couple. Like, this was, I think, Monster Hunter 3 was our first game together on the 3DS when it didn't have the control stick.
Yeah.
And it was terrible and it was god awful. And then we got For You. We fell in love with it. Gormagala is our favorite monster, hands down. And we haven't seen him since, and we miss him dearly. But no, it was just one of those games that has like a special meaning. That's why I guess I'm fine with playing it again and again and again.
I don't know if you remember, but you told me we had this discussion about like maybe a year and a half ago, around the time that we were still dealing with the 6-month gap. And you were like, you told me, I don't even know if you remember this, you told me you did not know, one of the reasons you didn't wait is because you didn't know if we were going to like it and stick with it.
That is also another reason, because I know for a fact Monster Hunter is a very make it or break it. There are some people that just get into it, and then there are other people that look at it and go, that looks dumb. Like, I talked to my dad about it. I was mid-fight, and I was explaining to my dad what it was. And he's like, that sounds cool, but it doesn't sound fun for me. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, like, you know me, I'm more of a shooter kind of guy. And I was like, okay, but bow gun, heavy bow gun, bow and arrow. And he's like, I'm not with all that monster hunting shit. Like, you like playing Pokemon and Legend of Zelda and Monster Hunter. That's you. I just want to get on the team and kill motherfuckers.
But
like, that was a legit thing he said. It still shakes me to this day. I'm like, he's just like, I just want to get on the field and kill motherfuckers.
Do you remember that weird feeling you had when I asked you, hey Chris, what does affinity mean?
Bro, and I really looked at you and was like, I don't know, man. I think it's something, but I can't tell you right now. And I was like, I was busy with something else, but I also just didn't remember. And then you just came back and you went, has something to do with crit. You fucked up in telling me this game. I'm done. You allowed me to mid-max. and that's the entire game.
That's the like the armor, like the set building, like the theory crafting. Like, I get on Monster Hunter sometimes and do not hunt. I just be in the training range like, So I have so much affinity build up in this weapon that all I have to do is get it to 50%, because then my weakness exploit on a tenderized part will give me 50 extra affinity, bringing me to 100, which means my crit boost will give me 40% increase on crit damage. Therefore, the Fatalis armor also gives me true razor sharp, so if I crit, I don't lose sharpness, so I'll never not crit, I'll never lose sharpness as long as I hit its head. Plus, if the Fatalis armor gives me stun resist, I don't have to worry about being in his blind spot with the tail to hit me to stun me, because he can't stun me, so I can use Rocksteady here and just take that extra time to get a big bang combo. See, that's the shit. See, when I started thinking like that, I'm like, this game is amazing. That's why I have 800 hours in the shit. Yeah. I was like, when I heard all of that, and then like when they made it easier to get the decorations, I'm like, it's fucking over. Because now you're letting me have fun. And you fucked up now. Like,
see, you're over here like it's straight up the meme where you just like, you look at the stats and I'm like, heard their hammer go bam.
and that's the one thing I do like about it. Every weapon is a different game. Every weapon is like I'm a Gunlance main.
Yeah.
But Capcom hath forsaken the Gunlance because they think Capcom said, I don't know if you saw this, they said that if they made a level 7 long shelling Gunlance, they think it would be too powerful. Have you seen the sticky ammo videos that I've seen? Have you seen the heavy bowgun spread builds that I've seen that are ripping in-game monsters apart in sub 2 minutes? What do you mean? What are you trying to tell me? It'll be too strong. My favorite weapon has to be shit because you're scared of it being too strong, but you're perfectly okay with longsword, just being able to counter anything in the game and not take damage. You're 100% okay with light bow guns and heavy bow guns ripping everything asunder. You're okay with that. But oh, God forbid. God forbid.
Getting a call from Team Darkside. They said they wanted to chime in.
Yeah, fuck you, Team Darkside. Yeah, I'm over here chefing up Fatalis. Look, man, all I'm saying is that, like, I enjoy Monster Hunter. It's now one of my favorite games. Monster Hunter World is easily a contender for top 5 favorite games of all time, simply off of the, like, building aspect alone. And, like, I don't have a ton of people to play it with.
Yeah.
Like, I only play with, like, Caleb, and that's what sucks, because, like, nobody, like, Deuce played it and Alex played it and they quit. Like you said, it's not a game for everyone. But, like, Caleb's invested. I'm invested. You're invested. And Jamie's invested. That alone is like, we have 4 people. We can have 4 people for every hunt. And I guess that is just the thing where it's like, why not just wait? But I guess I get your point too. But
I love how deflated you got. You're just like up here, just like
I mean, because like part of me wants to be like Jason talked about it, but at the same time, it's like I can't. Like, it's not my place to try and do something like that. I'm gonna play it on PC. If they do, then cool. If not, it is what it is. I don't know. Like, I guess that's the deflating thing. Like, I hate when we have an opportunity to everyone to play a game together and it gets shot down. Because, like, I don't think everyone's, like, genuinely tried to play the game together since we were trying to get a raid group together for 14.
Good
and that didn't work. And that was all my fault. And I still, like, beat myself up for that shit. Because I was telling everybody, get through the story. And in reality, it should have just been, hey, let's go do some of the older content that everyone already has unlocked. Just to you know.
Yo, me and Jamie, like, burned through the first, like, half of not Heaven's Sword, Shadowbringers.
Oh, Shadowbringers.
No, we burned through all of we got. I don't know how far we got. I'm looking at her and she's like giving me the quizzical look. I don't know how. We got to because we got right after Titania.
Oh yeah, because I remember.
No, we got to the bunny. We got to the Usagi in the moon. We got to the bunny moon fight.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what came in. I know we were getting burnt out because we were super getting into it, trying to, like, burn through it to get to the end of it so we could get to current in game.
That was the biggest mistake. We should have been taking our time and enjoying the ride instead of just trying to burn through everything to get to the end game, because we wouldn't have even, like, been ready for that, even if we did get to it, because we weren't raiding and learning all the old mechanics that were eventually going to come back. But that's
hearsay. That's hearsay. That's in the past. I will say I did enjoy being a gunbreaker. That was a lot of fun.
Dude, me and Diamond
don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like, oh, do you want to go back?
I do.
Oh.
Me and Diamond talk about going back to 14 every week. Every week we have that discussion. Do you know what it looks like to have $15 in my account not doing anything? It's like, I could build 14.
Bro, who are you telling?
Look, man, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. You, me, JV, and Diamond need to just sit down and have a talk one day, because me and Diamond were talking about some of the stuff that we could do outside of story and rating to keep ourselves, like, invested, and we thought about 3 things.
Yeah.
Crafting and gathering.
Yep.
Mount farming.
Right.
Blue mage.
You know what? That
Blue mage is 4 players.
Oh, man, Blue mage is so cool. Blue mage had such cool potential.
No. It's dog. That's the thing. We kept shitting on Blue mage because we were thinking about it from, like, a player. Like, we were thinking about it from the same aspect of every other class. Not as it's like, you need to look at Blue mage for what it is. It's a mini game.
Yeah.
It's a new way to experience. It's a new way to experience old dungeons and old content in a new way. Imagine all 4 of us just running up in a dungeon, 1,000 needles. No healers, no tanks, no DPS, just vibes.
Just vibes. That's crazy.
just vibes. But
Not a vibe.
but hey man, like legit, we should like just start a group chat in Discord. Like, guys, look.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about this. Like, let's just give it a month. Like, let's take a month to play, see how we feel.
See
and then we'll go then we'll go from there. Because I did log in.
If I'm not pulling a 10K rotation on my rotation, I'm logging out.
That's also a part of the game we never got to. People learning the rotations. Because I played Ninja through the whole story, and then as soon as the story was over, I was like, all right, where's my bow? But what were you even fucking talking about? That's crazy.
We did just like tangent into from Monster Hunter all the way to Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, okay. So I do want to talk about something though. Back to get on topic a little bit. Last episode we clearly told you guys there, like, the new norm for technology releases is that there will be none upon release.
Yeah.
Like, the new norm for releases are there are no releases. And our podcast dropped, I believe, a day before it dropped on the day of the Xbox coming out and 2 days before the PlayStation came out.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it, but people on Twitter were basically like, look, if you didn't pre-order PS5, you didn't get one. Because the biggest, like, the one store everyone was pissed off at was Walmart.
Yeah, because they were doing like the like 4 spots in a day.
Yeah, they did it
drops.
like 12 a.m., 3 p.m., 6 p.m., 9 p.m.
Yeah.
And people were saying, like, they made it sound like they were just gonna restock all the shelves full of PS5s at these time increments. So just be here at these times and you'll get a PS5. And then people were like, oh no, they meant like we're gonna put 2 on the shelf. Like,
yeah, I don't like how they're going about this. And I know, you know, like, rational brain, it's because of COVID. You can't produce the amount because of the fact that we're having to limit how many people are in where. So like the factories that make the systems, they got a limit to how many people can do it. So you can't produce as big a number.
You know,
but irrational me is just like, you're going about this all wrong. And of course, I don't have a way to fix it, but it's still like, look, if we're going to have a shortage, just come out and say we're going to have a shortage. If you get one, you get one. And then come back and say, but look, if you didn't get one on release day, we're doing our best to have them restocked by Black Friday. You don't get it by Black Friday, we're doing our best to have them restocked by Christmas.
I would like to say, I had the exact same thought you had, and it was like, if you're gonna have a shortage, that's okay, but tell people you want to have a shortage. But to build off of that, every commercial I've seen for the last like couple days has been the Xbox commercial, a PlayStation commercial, or a Spider-Man commercial.
Be greater, be yourself.
Why are you spending all this money on marketing for something you can't provide? Why?
Okay, but here's the thing. There are a few. PlayStation is still doing games for the PS4, so a lot of the new games are still able to. Well, not a lot, but you know, Miles Morales is still able to be played on the PS4.
I'm not even really talking about the games. I'm just saying in general,
the system.
right?
Yeah,
like,
no, I agree.
Like, cause okay, let's call it what it is, right? We all know why there's a shortage of PlayStations and Xboxes. It's the scalpers.
That is also true. One of the
scalpers.
biggest things I hate is being on Twitter and then you're just seeing this one person going, oh yeah, I got like 17 PS5s or like 18 Xboxes. I'm gonna do a giveaway. And it's like, dickhead. Like you spent all this money just so you could get some more followers on your shit. Like, you did all this.
We can't even call them dickheads because they're successful. It's working, and that's what's. I'm about to go on a rant, so please, if you have something to say, please say it.
I don't like it. I don't give a fuck about it. I hate scalpers. I'm gonna go pick up my Adidas in the mail. I'm getting me some Spider-Man Adidas.
Like,
Go ahead, man. I'm buckled in.
give me one moment because I really am about to rant and I need something. I need a prop.
Oh shit. I wonder what the prop is. What's the prop? All right. Well, now that I got the people by themselves. Oh shit, he's back. Okay, never mind.
All right.
Follow me on Twitch.
Okay. I want to take you back.
Take me back.
To May 15th, 2014. About 8:30 a.m.
Okay.
This was the day of my high school graduation.
Oh.
The first thing I did when I got up that morning was I got my phone and the Air Jordan Retro 6 Carmines were releasing that morning. This was during a time where the sneaker community was starting to shift into a way of where sneakers were not getting in the hands of people who wanted them to wear them, but rather people who didn't give a fuck about them in general and knew that they had value. So they wanted to scalp as many pairs as possible, hold them, hoard them, and resell them for double, triple, or God knows even more than what they're retailed at.
Okay.
So to go back to my story, the Carmine 6s were releasing that day. This is probably a top 3 Jordan of mine all time. I love that shoe. Tried to get it. Graduation starts at 9. I'm in the chapel with my gown, hat, all that bullshit. 8:45, and they drop at 8:30. I'm there at 8:30 listening to our valedictorian speak, vigorously refreshing the page on like Champ Sports, Foot Locker, Foot Action, Finish Line, you name it. Sold out everywhere. I just wanted one pair, couldn't get them. I wanted one fucking pair, couldn't get them. What I was able to get, they also released the Carmine Jordan 1s, which I was able to get because a lot of people didn't know that those were also dropping that day. So I just got lucky. Because on my way home from graduation, I just decided to stop by the mall to see if they had any, and they only had one, so I got a pair of 1s because I love Jordan 1s. Also, Miles Morales Adidas looks stupid. You should have kept his Jordan 1s. But anyways, I say that, I mean, that's fine. I say that to say this. A week later, I'm on Twitter. A classmate of mine who was sitting in that same chapel I was sitting in got 45 pairs of Carmine 6s. 45. Through bots.
Wait a minute.
Exactly. You
What? 45?
Through bots. He kept 5 of them. Sold the other 40. He made about $12,000.
That's great.
And I always thought that was so stupid. Why go out of your way to do something like that to just make a profit off of other people's inconvenience? But you got to remember, we live in such a capitalist society where if you describe this type of action to somebody, they'll think you're stupid for not doing it if it's allowed. Because there's certain things when money is so important in your society, morality takes a back seat to legality.
Shit.
If it's legal, who gives a fuck if it's right or wrong if it's legal, right? I hated the way the sneaker community was trending towards. I haven't bought a pair of sneakers in about a year and a half because you can't anymore. All the resellers have taken over. People are making millions of dollars hoarding sneakers and reselling them. One of the websites where they sell them or they trade them is StockX. I say that to say this. Why did I see a PlayStation 5 on StockX?
It's not a shoe.
No, It's not. Why the hell am I seeing a PlayStation 5 on StockX? You know what somebody wanted for that damn PlayStation?
$1,200.
$1,200. $1,200. I went on eBay the day of release. Somebody was, they had 30 PS5s. And every day they were going to put one up for auction. They started the auction at market price, $500, $499.99. Do you know what one of those auctions, and he set the auctions up to like 24 hours. You know what, I kept watching it on eBay. You know what one of those auctions hit?
25.
$2,800. For a PlayStation, you could have built a high-end PC for $2,800.
So now we're going into the territory where I'm seeing a lot of people on Twitter, online, a lot of people are having the same opinion that we're having right now. So you're telling me you're willing to pay something double, triple, even quadruple the market price for something you can't wait a month for? Because let's be honest, they're gonna have some for Black Friday.
Yeah.
They're gonna have some for Christmas.
Exactly.
So you're telling me on the 12th of November, that's not even a month. That's 2 weeks. All honesty, that's 2 weeks you're gonna wait. But you're willing to pay twice as much.
And I would like to say the reason that this type of business model, I say that with air quote, business model, scalping, let's call it what it is. The reason scalping is so profitable in sneakers is because shoes don't re-release. And when they do, you don't know they're coming back out. I just showed you, I got this pair of Carmine 1s. They haven't re-released since. It's been 6 years. They haven't come out again. So I'm glad that I got the pair that I got. But that being said, that's why it's so profitable, quote unquote, for scalpers in the sneaker community. I don't understand why that's the case with consoles. In a year, this won't be an issue. In a year, you can walk into any big, no. I promise you, in a year, you can walk up to any big box store you want and get a PlayStation 5. And I say that because of this. The people who got them this, like you said, the people who got them this round,
they're done.
They're done. They're not going back for another one. They're done.
Yeah.
They're done. And then you're going to have the people who are going to get them for their kids, for Christmas, and all that shit. The people who wanted it the most got them. The people who pre-ordered them. The people who wanted them the most, who tried to pre-order them and can't, they're going to get that second wave. How many waves do you think it's going to take before everybody's satisfied?
Low ball 4, high ball 6.
Exactly. And that'll take what? About a year.
Yeah, a year and a half. I think even Sony came out and said that the transition between PS4 and PS5 won't be done until like at least a year and a half from now.
Exactly. Like, I guarantee you it's going to be okay. And especially, I don't understand the rush, especially if you have a PlayStation 4.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, okay, real talk. I think we've got, okay, so Godfall, Astro's Playhouse, Demon Souls, and Miles Morales.
And Bugsnax.
That's free. Like, legitimately, it's free on PS Plus. Bugsnax and Call of Duty.
Right.
That's it. Now, sure, you've got Valhalla, Watch Dogs that both came out this month, earlier in the month before the release of the system, and December you got Cyberpunk.
Maybe. You
know, if they don't cyberpunk us again and make us wait. But what I'm saying is, the games that are out right now that are for the PS5, there's only 2 that are exclusive, and even then, technically only one of them, and that's Demon Souls.
Mm-hmm.
I don't talk about Xbox because they ain't got exclusives, and their flagship game got postponed till 2021. So.
Funny enough, and I'm not saying this as a dig to Xbox. I'm saying this because I genuinely haven't seen it. I haven't seen anybody say they had a hard time getting an Xbox.
That was another thing. I was looking all over, and I never heard people having a problem getting an Xbox.
Now there has been news
selling out.
Yes,
I haven't been hearing people saying, "Oh, well, I'm paying $1,200 for an Xbox Series X." Like I haven't seen that.
If you pay like $1,000 or $1,200 for a PS5, I just think you should have waited. If you pay like $1,000, $1,200 for an Xbox, I would actually physically assault you, because that's literally the price of a PC, peripherals, and a high frequency monitor.
Xbox boys, what's up with you motherfuckers vaping in your Xbox?
Like, okay, levitating a ping pong ball in your Xbox, that's pretty cool. But
yeah, I was cool. I was like, oh, that's kind of fucking sick.
Don't vape into your goddamn Xbox.
Fucking Xbox. Like it's causing water molecules and causing them to catch fire. I
want to say one more thing on the scalping thing though, because this is what really bothered me about it.
Yeah.
Scalpers, anytime you try to like talk about scalpers on social media, the same fucking people dredge themselves up into the conversation. It's supply and demand though. It's not illegal. It's supply and demand though. It's supply and demand. It's supply and demand. They have the money. They can do what they want. Listen, we talked about this in accordance to the new graphics card releases from NVIDIA tanking, the new CPU releases from AMD tanking, and nobody being able to get one. Scalpers only have as much power as you give them.
Yeah.
If they're like, I understand what it's like to be impatient. I am one of the most impatient people I know. I shop for all my shit almost exclusively on Amazon because I'm so impatient. Because about 2 days is about how much I'm willing to wait before something I paid money for I have possession of. So I understand when a lot of people say they're impatient, but listen, impatience is not a reason to be irrational.
Or an asshole.
Or an asshole about it. Now if you don't know what scalping is, let me spell it out for you. Let's say a PlayStation 5 is $500. If you want a PlayStation 5, all you have to pay is $500. Well, if a place like GameStop or Best Buy or Walmart or Target or any other big box store you could think of, or whatever big box stores are in your area, if they're $500 US and you spend $5,000 and get 10 of them, and then you flip them for $1,000 each and you sell each one, you just made $10,000. So you made your $5,000 back and made an additional $5,000 in profit. If people can do that, they'll keep doing it, because there's a third, and this is one thing I did. I kind of wanted to give the whole episode to, but we got off on a tangent, but it's fine. It'll be quick. People say supply and demand. There's a third aspect in that never gets brought up. It's supply, demand, and hype.
Yeah.
If you think of
Nintendo Switch,
I'll give you an even better one. Think of the Popeyes chicken sandwich.
You want to talk about some angry motherfuckers.
If I wanted to go to Popeyes and get a chicken sandwich right now,
you could do it.
I could do it. There's not going to be a 30-car line. People won't be stabbing themselves over this damn sandwich. And when I get up there, they'll have plenty of them, because the supply is there and the demand is there. But the hype is no longer through the roof. Hype will have people buying shit. Hype will have people buying shit they don't even know what they're buying. They just want it because everybody won't shut the fuck up about it. It happens with, it's the reason that iPhone is where it is. It's the reason the Popeyes chicken sandwich thing got where it was. And it's the reason that at the beginning of quarantine, we had a Nintendo Switch shortage, because everyone was hyping up Animal Crossing. So everyone and their mother went out and bought every Switch everywhere to go play Animal Crossing. And now you can get a Switch again.
I got yelled at because I didn't have no fucking Switch or a fucking Animal Crossing in the store, man. No, fuck them. No, real talk. Look, I hate scalpers. I do, like, with a passion. There's very little that sits on that kind of a pedestal, because they use, like you said, they use that supply and demand shit. And it's like, okay, sure, but if the supply is one per household, the demand is one per household. It might, okay, I'll even say it's a little bit more than that. Like, I demand two because I don't want Jamie to not have one.
Same.
Like, I'd like us to both have one, and that be the two.
Right.
But like, and it's really shitty because you can't even put them in this situation because they still won't care. But imagine if a grown man has $1,000 and is gonna get two PS5s,
Right.
and a kid walks in and he has $500 and only wants one, and he wants it for himself and his little brother so they can play video games together. That's a child. There's a grown adult who has 1,000 other things he or she could do besides get the system. Buys two, buys the last two. Now that kid has to go home and he's upset, he's sad, you know. But the funny thing is that here's the difference. The kid will go, well, dang, he'll be upset, he'll be sad, he might cry, but he'll get over it. And then, 2 weeks down the line, his parents surprise him with the PS5 because they got restocked. You can't tell that guy who's going to be like, oh, well, we sold out. Well, what do you mean you sold out? What the fuck? Well, how am I going to make my money now? You have a job.
Like we said, scalping only survives off of hype. Also, we broke down like how you make money scalping. It works the opposite way as well. If you spend $5,000 to buy 10 PS5s and you can't flip them because they got restocked and people just waited, you just look like a dumbass now.
Yeah, because now you're sitting in a house filled with PS5s and you can't get rid of them.
At that point, you might keep one and return the rest.
If
you can. Yeah, if you can. At that point, you'd probably just try to break even and sell them online for what they're worth.
Because the sad thing is, especially in the climate we're in right now, where a lot of stores aren't taking returns on a lot of things because of COVID, you spend $10K on all those systems, and they're like, well, they're unopened, they haven't been touched. Doesn't matter. They left this building, they went into your car, they went into your house, then you put them, I don't know what's going on in your house, then you put them back in your car, I don't know who's been in your car, and you're gonna bring them back into the store thinking you're gonna walk out with, that money again. And you know what's even funnier? 9 times out of 10, Walmart's not gonna give you cash back.
No.
They'll either A, ask you to put it back on the car that it came from, they'll hand you a wonderfully packed Walmart gift card.
I will say this. Scalpers are only they are a subsidiary issue of the real issue, and that's bots.
Yeah.
Bots ruined my love for sneakers. That's not true. They ruined my want to buy sneakers. Because now I wake up, it's like, oh, those are, like, I'll be looking on it, it's like, oh, this new Jordan 1 model is getting released. And I'm like, oh, that looks pretty fire. And then it hits me, I'll never get a pair. A bot will buy 300 of these before my computer even turns on.
And that's how I felt with the first Spider-Man Miles Morales shoes. The Origins, man, I was looking everywhere for the date of the release. Couldn't find them anywhere. And I was like, all right, well, let me look them online. I'm not spending $2,000 on a pair of shoes. I'm not. I don't have $2,000 to drop on a pair of shoes.
I don't know why I'm shaking my head. I know I would, but I don't know why I'm shaking my head. Like, I agree with the sentiment, but I'm like, I definitely will if it's the pair I want.
I mean, like, I get it. Like, I can go on StockX right now and find a pair, but they'll be like $700.
Exactly.
And I'm just like,
when that like retail, they were like 180.
Yeah, I was like, I just want the pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Like, I want it so I can wear them, so I can, rep something that like means something to me.
One of the latest shoes I really wanted was a pair of shattered backboard ones that were about $180. $180 retail, and I think if you try to get a pair of shattered backboards right now, it'd probably be like maybe $6,000. That's why it's like people ask me, are you finally out of your sneaker phase? First of all, it's not a phase. I just really like sneakers. Second of all, can't get them anymore. The bots will snatch them all up. But I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Until companies go out of their way to try and disenfranchise bots, I don't know how you do it though. Because I always think about it. I'm like, one per email, they'll just make a fake email. It takes 5 minutes to make an email. So I can only imagine somebody would write an algorithm that would allow you to make some one-off Gmail account and get it shipped to you. Because you could use whatever name. You could have, Dr. Buttface at drbuttface@gmail.com. But as long as they've got your address and your credit card information, it can buy you that fucking thing. Okay, well, one per address. Okay, well, he's gonna get one sent to his crib, one sent to his homie crib, one sent to his parents' crib, and then he's just gonna, or maybe he's got a P.O. box.
Yeah.
You never know. So they could have all types of places to send it, and then they're still gonna get it. It's like, okay, well, one per IP address. Bots can just, VPNs are a thing. Bots can just simulate different IP addresses. Like there's something like I don't know how to do it. That is a job for somebody whose mental makeup far dwarfs mine. But something has to be done to disenfranchise the use of bots in everything, in sneakers, in gaming, in fucking technology in general. You see this with everything except phones and cars. Because cars are too expensive. And everybody has different taste in phones. And there's so many different options.
I completely agree.
Computer parts, bots own that. Sneakers, bots own that. And sadly, it's looking like bots kind of are owning the console market as well. And like you said, COVID is a big thing too. So maybe if we ever get past COVID, now that we might be heading towards some better leadership in the country, maybe we'll get to a point where maybe we can have people making more PS5s and Xboxes. But until then, people just wait.
Wear a mask, stop touching people with your hands.
I will say this though, do not wait for an Xbox. If you have to wait for Site Supply on Twitter is an account that basically follows the supply of different products at different places. They reported that there might be a Xbox Series X/S shortage until April of 2021. That is a very long time to wait.
Oh, maybe that's when the new Halo game come out.
We're talking about like waiting a month for a PS5 or like maybe 2 months. If you have to wait November? That's 5 months, right? December, January, February, March. Yeah. If you have to wait 5 months to April, you're better off getting a PC at that point. I'm really not trying to sound like an elitist. Like I know it can come off that way, but genuinely, like, bro, what are you gonna play? Call of Duty? Crossplay. Fortnite? Crossplay. Like all the biggest games have crossplay. And you're building something that you can essentially future-proof you so you'll never have to deal with this again. But, that's a speech for a different day and a different soapbox.
My favorite thing right now is really off topic, but I think it's like a little bit of a moment of zen. My favorite thing right now is seeing all these people play these 13-year-old games from the 360 PS3 era on their Xbox X's, like Xbox Series X. Like I saw a dude playing fucking Sonic Unleashed on the Xbox at 1080 60 frames per second with no lag and no like clipping in the game. And I will say it was probably one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, because Sonic Unleashed isn't on Steam maybe yet. I don't know. It's not. I hope. I want it to be.
I thought it was.
It's not. I checked. I just thought to myself, damn, you really kept this game. You really kept Sonic Unleashed for the 360 for almost 2 decades. So you can play it in the crispest 1080p 60 frames per second.
To be fair, you could do that on PC with an emulator.
Oh yeah, easily. I know.
That's like old boy beat 'em ups.
I got a PS2 that's ready to go at any time.
Do you know who beat 'em ups is? He's a YouTuber. You'd probably like him. He owns like damn near every Switch game ever.
Yeah.
Like, but he's really cool. He lives down here in Texas too. He's Australian or whatever. But he was a Nintendo ambassador, and he allegedly got, we don't know for sure, but he made a video about playing, he was using a Wii U emulator on PC to play Breath of the Wild. He was playing in like 4K shader pack, all that, made it look like a fucking movie. It looked beautiful. He had a bunch of mods in it that just made the game, basically somebody made the perfect version of Breath of the Wild, and like a week later Nintendo dropped him from the ambassador thing, and they never told him if it was because of that video or not, because Nintendo really does not fuck with people running their games on emulators, which we found out was because they'd rather sell their games again than people emulate them for free.
He'd rather give you an emulator you pay for monthly or yearly.
I'm glad you brought that up. I need to talk to you. So I need to talk to you about something after the podcast. I'm glad you brought that up. But but yeah.
I think that's hilarious because I actually remember getting my Wii U emulator up and running just so I could play Breath of the Wild on my PC, and that shit was beautiful. Like I would just kind of like, and this was on my old PC too. Like,
yeah.
Like, man, I'm talking. It shot the Wii U in the backyard.
Oh God.
Took him out to the pasture. But yeah, no, I don't get it. It's just kind of upsetting because all I want, look, I just want to play video games. I just want to enjoy my hellfire of a landscape that is the U.S. and I just want to play video games in my house.
Stop. What did we learn, kids? Talk to your friends about what platform you're playing on your games, especially if you're gonna play together. Stop giving your money to scalpers. Companies, find a way to stop bots from purchasing your entire fucking stock.
No one needs the John try and give. I'll buy your entire stock,
bro. Like, legitimately, some of these bots will just fuck around and gank your whole shit. Like, remember when you used to work at GameStop and you'd be like, oh, we're getting like 30 switches today. Imagine a bot like in 30 seconds.
Imagine a drone like walking in and just scooping the box. And
no, like no, that's too late. Like, imagine the UPS guy rolling up with the crate, getting off the truck, and they're already spoken for.
Yeah, like they all got names on them and shit.
Yeah, all from the same bot. Like, this whole crate, that's my shit.
Yeah, like some dude goes, hey, did you get that box of switches in? Oh yeah, we just got it. We haven't put them in the don't even worry about it. Your system.
I parked out back.
Yeah, just bring it in my car. And it's like, what? No, I can't do that. I gotta put it in the system. Watch, you'll put it in the system. It'll have Weed Goku 420 as the owner.
Can I get a phone number? No. Here's a receipt.
No, I don't think you will.
But anyways, y'all, that's gonna be it for this episode of the In-Game Grind podcast. Remember, we do drop every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central, and the video version drops on YouTube at 5 p.m. Central on Friday. And remember that you need to like and follow us on all your favorite audio streaming platforms, but then head over to YouTube. Make sure you give our episodes a like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you get notified every single time a new episode goes live. But on top of all of that, if you guys are enjoying the show, don't forget to share it. Tell your friends about it. We're having fun making it. We would appreciate if you guys spread the word. We're super thankful for all the listenership that we do have and the viewership that we have on YouTube. But we would like to. I'm gonna try and do a better job of kind of marketing our podcast on social media, because I don't do a very good job of it. I'll be like, oh, our audio version drops today, I need to tweet that out, and then I'll be like, fuck, it's Thursday.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll be hanging with Diamond on Saturday, and I'm like, I feel like I forgot something. It's like, oh right, the video version just dropped. Shit. Well, they know about it, right? And then it'll have like 1 view, and it's like, well, shit. And then I tweet it out, and it'll have like 7, and I'm like, well, maybe I do need to tweet it out, shit. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode, guys. We will catch you guys on the next one, but until then, we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.